Monica's Saucy Orange Pudding, one of my favourite autumn or winter desserts, served hot with cream, ice cream or custard. So quite an unusual pudding in how it's made. We're going to make a hot orange syrup and an orange sponge batter, pour them together in our baking dish, and like magic they're going to separate to form a golden orange sponge on the top and a thick, sweet, sticky orange sauce on the bottom. So the first thing we do is make up our orange sauce. So into a pot, add your freshly squeezed orange juice, nothing out of a carton. It must be fresh orange juice for this recipe to be fresh and delicious. And to this we're going to add a little bit of butter and some caster sugar. So melt it all together and leave it bubbling away on the hob while you make up your sponge batter. Let me just give that a bit of a stir. There we go. Just dissolve the sugar and we'll come back to this at intervals. Smells delicious already. Okay, so moving on to our sponge batter. So plenty of orange flavour going in here with fresh orange zest and orange marmalade. Or you can use a grapefruit marmalade, 3-fruit marmalade, and that's another lovely thing to do for a beginner who's never made a preserve before, is make a marmalade. We're going to start off with by creaming our sugar and our butter together, then add our eggs, our milk and all the other ingredients. So I've got a nice big mixer here, but even a little handheld mixer and a bowl will work very well. So creaming together sugar and butter means we're going to whip them together until they're light and fluffy. Now we can start gradually adding our other ingredients. So we have flour, milk, marmalade and orange zest. In goes our marmalade. I'm a huge fan of Seville orange marmalade, which is a really bitter one, and I think it works really well with the sweetness of the syrup. It just breaks it a little bit. Our orange zest. And then we can add a little bit of our flour and a little bit of our milk. But here's an interesting little variant on the recipe, is that we've got bread soda here, also known as bicarbonate of soda, and that actually gets mixed in with the milk. And that forms an acidic liquid then that helps the batter to rise and also gives it a really, really good colour. So give this a good stir. And what you might find, it might start fizzing slightly. Now that's entirely normal, so don't worry about that. So I'm going to put in a little bit of flour and a little bit of the milk. And what we're going to do is just alternate doing that until everything's been incorporated into our batter. So you're going to have to start doing that, but it'll be done in a matter of moments. So scrape down the sides. Make sure everything's really well mixed. And the bit stuck to the mixture is just the orange zest and the marmalade. So now I have my batter mixture ready. It's quite a runny mixture, so don't be alarmed at the consistency of it. I'm going to take it over to my hot orange syrup. Excellent. So this is bubbling away. Switch it off. Hot syrup in first. Smells gorgeous. Now this is a slightly funky bit. Batter in on top, and it's going to look quite curdled, but I promise you it's going to work. So this is going to take about half an hour in the oven. And the sponge is going to float to the top and go gorgeous and golden, and you're left with this thick band of orange syrup at the bottom. And that's why I've deliberately put this in a glass dish so that you can see the self-saucing orange pudding. So into the oven. We'll come back and check on this in a little while. My orange pudding has worked its magic and it's ready to come out of the oven. Oh, wow. Now look at that. You can see how the sponge is floated at the top. It's beautifully golden, and we've got this thick, sticky orange sauce at the bottom. I cannot wait to dig in.